Nathan with Mossy Oak here. We're going to be making a deer tenderloin, the inside tenderloin. So it's cinnamon crusted deer tenderloin with a blackberry compote. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the blackberries. Really simple. We're just going to put it in this Lodge cast iron pan here. Add a fair amount of sugar to it. And lemons. So we're going to zest one lemon right in there with the blackberries. Citrus and blackberries just go really incredible together, and obviously, you know, most berries with venison or wild game is great, but blackberry and venison is one of my favorite things. They just go so well together. I'm going to add half a lemon here, and we're just going to let that cook down. And we want this to kind of cook down, let the sugar dissolve, let the blackberries cook to a point where, you know, it's syrupy, it turns into a really nice sauce. To this, we're going to add a little bit of salt. All right, so we're just going to cook these blackberries over medium heat until they, you know, kind of cook down to a syrup, kind of sauce-like consistency. It's just going to be a nice addition to the venison tenderloin. All right, so while these blackberries are cooking down, we're going to actually trim up the sinew on this, the silver skin on this tenderloin. You want to try to get as much as possible as you can off there without taking away a lot of the meat. So I do it in kind of small strips. Use a fillet knife or a boning knife, works great for this. Basically make a cut where I'm getting something where I can hold with my hands, and I can cut back from there. All right, now that the venison tenderloins are cleaned up, we're going to get our cinnamon crust ready for them. So it's cinnamon, salt, pepper, very simple. When I make this dish, people are actually surprised by how much cinnamon I use, but it's really subtle on the meat whenever you cook it off, but it gives this nice warmth to the meat that goes really well with game meat. So I love doing it this way. And basically what I do is I just take a dinner plate or something similar, and I'm gonna add some cinnamon to that. And I'm just gonna add my salt and pepper to that cinnamon. Kind of make like a seasoning mix. And this is gonna have, I mean, you're gonna literally crust the cinnamon onto this venison. All right, so I've added a good amount of butter to my Lodge cast iron pan, about a half a cup's worth. I like to use a good amount of fat when I'm cooking these. The key is higher heat and shorter cooking time. We're just going to take our tenderloin. We're going to roll it in this mixture. I'm going to add a little bit more salt to this as well, but you can see how much cinnamon we're using. And I know people, a lot of times, they think, man, that's a lot of cinnamon. But whenever you cook it, it's just actually very subtle. We're just going to put it right in this pan here. Turn up the heat just a little bit here. But you want to hear that sizzle. You want to be able to brown it really quickly. And these tenderloins are so small, they're going to cook, you know, maybe a minute on each side, and they're going to be pretty much done by the time we let them rest and then slice them. They're going to be cooked all the way through. So add that right to the cast iron pan. Just kind of let them sizzle in the butter for a little bit. All right, so it's time to flip these. Again, they've been on one side for about a minute. We're almost done. Again, you're talking in a pan about 3 minutes total time. So you just don't want to overcook them or have them in there too long. The compote is continuing to cook. It's reducing down. We're going to get it to a syrup-like consistency, and it's going to be great to kind of drizzle all over the tenderloins. And I'm pulling these tenderloins out. They are seared on the outside, and they're going to be rare to medium rare on the inside. And again, about 3 minutes total cooking time. The next key, when you're making any kind of meat that you're going to slice, like a tenderloin or a loin, it's imperative that you let it rest. If I was to cut through this meat right now, all of the juices in that meat would just run out on the cutting board, because as you cook it, all the juices naturally go to the middle of the loin. So you want to give that loin time to slowly let the meat or the juices kind of come back through to the meat. So it's really important. Let it rest. Meat this size, 5 minutes is a good amount of time to let it rest. All right, so our venison tenderloins now rested for about 5 minutes or so. Just want to make sure the kind of juices flow out through the meat again. And that way when we slice it, they'll stay nice and juicy. So I'm going to cut them, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch slices. Something that's really easy to eat. All right, so I'm just plating this, the tenderloin kind of family style. I'm just gonna slice it up and then shingle it out on the plate. All right, so now we're gonna take our blackberries that we've cooked down to a nice syrup. I'm just gonna take the sauce that's from that. Just do a nice drizzle over the meat. Get a couple blackberries in there as you do it. Add some to the plate, because you gotta take a piece of the meat and kind of drag it through the berries that are cooked down on the plate. It's just really delicious. All right, that's it. Really simple. We got a cinnamon crusted venison tenderloin with a blackberry compote.